Continuing coverage now on the federal immigration operations here in the mid-state as agents and Tennessee state troopers make even more traffic stops. The agency confirms 10 troopers made 120 traffic stops last night.
Well, that led ICE agents to detain 9 more people.
I am calling on ICE to release the names and release the charges.
Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell calling for more transparency tonight from ICE about its mid-state crackdown.
Fox 17 News, this sweep took known gang members off the streets with ties to MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live from the ICE field office in North Nashville with both sides of the debate. And Karen, I understand you had a chance to speak with this TBI director as well.
That's right, Megan. The TBI director tells me he's known about the presence of these violent gangs for a while now and says these ICE arrests need to be taken seriously. But Nashville mayor wants more information on those detained. New cell phone video sent to us by State Representative Justin Jones shows Thursday night's THB and ICE crackdown in Antioch.
Okay, what was the initial reason for the stop?
She has a headlight out.
So far, since the weekend, Tennessee troopers stopped nearly 600 people, with ICE detaining around 100 people. This includes dozens of arrests with final orders of deportation. ICE tells Fox 17 News the crackdowns are happening across the mid-state. The agency tells me they have arrested criminals including Tren de Aragua and MS-13 gang members. THP notes that they caught an MS-13 gang member wanted for aggravated murder out of El Salvador. TBI Director David Rausch has been vocal about their existence in this area.
These gang members are very well known to be, as I said, extremely violent. Everything from murder, aggravated assaults, and other very violent crimes that they have been doing, and they do them.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell doesn't believe all those detained in these ongoing operations are criminals until he sees proof.
I am calling on ICE to release the names and release the charges.
Boy. So we got to talk about the woke Democrat Party and their obsession, their weird obsession with illegal immigrants, saving illegal immigrants from the Trump administration. That is the only thing the Democrats seem to be focused on. They're not focused on legislating. They're focused on protecting illegal immigrants and campaigning, right? That's the only thing the Democrats are doing right now, okay? They have become a very, very, very unserious party. So with that being said, this story right here involves the mayor of Nashville, Mr. Freddie O'Connell, who is woke. He is facing some pressure because of the fact that Nashville has been the target of ICE raids. Okay, we talked about a story earlier this week where you had a bunch of woke activists lose their minds, boohoo, whine, and crying racism over ICE conducting a surprise raid with state police in which they conduct traffic stops in neighborhoods that are crime-filled and that have a lot of traffic accidents, aka neighborhoods where they're likely to be illegals, okay? And the activists were boohoo, whining, and crying racism. They were saying, oh, the police are profiling Hispanics, right? Black and brown people, you know, the things they always scream. So anyways, ICE, along with the state police, conducted these raids on Nashville, and the residents have been boohoo, whining, crying ever since, okay? So you have the mayor and the police chief, they're under pressure because the woke activists do not want the local police, local law enforcement working with ICE. And this mayor went out of his way to show that he's on the side of the woke activists and the illegal immigrants because he is starting a fund to, I guess, donate to financially support the illegal immigrants and their families during these times, right? These hard times of these raids, while the illegal immigrants go into hiding, and even some illegals are deciding to self-deport.
This is a tough moment, and I am heartbroken that today many of our neighbors in Nashville are experiencing fear over family separation rather than the safety we all deserve. The trauma inflicted on families is long-lasting, and I'm doing everything in my power consistent with applicable law to protect anyone who calls Nashville home. What's clear today is that people who do not share our values of safety and community have the authority to cause deep community harms. Immigration enforcement is a federal responsibility. MMPD officers are not ICE. What's clear is that federal and state authorities are intent on enforcing immigration law. Their approach is not our understanding of what a Nashville for all of us looks like, and we're grateful to our community partners who make all of our residents feel welcome.
We'll be launching a new fund called the Belonging Fund. We want to make sure that the immigrant community in this town knows that we have their back, and the fund will raise dollars that'll support the needs of our immigrant community, especially those who've been affected by the ICE raids yesterday, providing funds to support childcare, transportation, housing assistance, food insecurity, and really anything else that they need.
You can tell this is a first of its kind fund supporting our immigrant and refugee community in moments of crisis, which have been many in that community over the past several weeks. And it will be online today, cfmt.org/belonging.
Federal agents smoked a cigar just feet away from the crowd. ICE has not said who was taken into custody, why they were detained, nor were they where they were going.
Do you guys feel good about this? Like, are you happy to be taking families apart?
After Saturday into Sunday morning's ICE crackdown in South Nashville, his sister, who is undocumented and wants her identity hidden, says she is shattered. She tells me he's from Honduras and has worked in the United States for 5 years. THP says troopers made several arrests for outstanding warrants and that, quote, illegal guns and drugs were also recovered, including from individuals suspected of gang affiliation, end quote. Migrants tell me they are going into hiding because of a possible second round of ICE raids.
We are scared for what happened on Saturday.
Others are considering drastic measures.
My brother is planning to self-deport because he says Louisiana is really full and he is worried.
She shares the fear all migrants in Nashville have and is hoping she can get relief.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? The clown show continues. Democrats just continue to get more and more and more unhinged over these illegal immigrants. They're now raising money for the illegals, okay? This is what Democrats are focused on, okay? Not their constituents, not American citizens, but illegals, okay? So with that being said, the state police and ICE, they have not stopped these raids, right? These raids are continuing to happen. In fact, they are ratcheting up, and these people are continuing to melt down over these crackdowns.
They are kidnapping our people off the street based on nothing but the color of their skin. This is an injustice and a tragedy and a violation of our constitutional rights.
You mean their legal status, right? They are not taking people off the street based off the color of their skin. They're taking people off the street based off their suspected legal status. If you're here legally as a so-called person of color, you're not being deported, right? You're not going to be deported unless you want to go along with your family member who is here illegally, okay? When they get deported, if you want to catch that same flight with them out of the country, hey, it is what it is. But again, outside of that, if you are an American citizen, then, you don't have to worry about being deported. But what they want you to think is that if you are a so-called black and brown person, then you can be deported. They want to make this a race issue. The reason why they want to make it a race issue is because they can't win on the merits of what is actually happening, which is that the federal government is enforcing immigration law, right? They can't win on that. So again, they want to play the race card.
The Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition continues to criticize the ICE roundups now happening in Nashville and other areas of the mid-state. But many are applauding the operation, including Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, who says he's proud of state troopers assisting federal agents in removing dangerous criminals, he says, off the street. We reached out to the state for the latest numbers from overnight, but the spokesperson didn't give us any new information. We can tell you troopers made nearly 600 traffic stops since the operation began a week ago. Thursday night, they reported 120 traffic stops alone, leading to 9 more people detained. That brings the total now to 103 detentions over the past week in the Nashville area.
It's our Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility.
A federal Department of Homeland Security employee called Metro Dispatch Thursday, putting in an advanced request for extra Metro police patrols at the federal ICE building in town on Sunday.
They are doing operations throughout the weekend, and they're concerned of the families having some backlash on Sunday. possibly showing up there, that kind of thing.
Protesters and families of those detained spotted the MMPD vehicles nearby, leading to accusations that Metro Police were involved or somehow even knew about ICE's operation, something the mayor and police chief have repeatedly denied.
Our police department had no knowledge of any ICE enforcement going on this past weekend.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell announced a new executive order Friday requiring all communication between federal immigration authorities and any Metro department or employee to be reported to his office within 1 business day.
I understand the ways in which it causes a gap in trust, but we know we have work to do. We are doing some of that work immediately starting today.
ICE has reported the arrests in Nashville include Tren de Aragua and MS-13 gang members and convicted sex offenders.
Somehow Democrats will tell us these tattoos, right, that don't mean that they're MS-13, right? Like this right here, right? This doesn't mean they're MS-13, okay? This right here also as well, too. This doesn't stand. This is not for the gang, right? This is not for MS-13. This is what Democrats will say, right? This is what they'll say.
And convicted sex offenders. Republican U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn praised the action in a post today.
No one wants these criminals in their community. It is a good thing that ICE is rounding them up and deporting them.
The mayor and his administration continue to condemn the crackdown, but they also say they're powerless to do much about it. Local government has no authority over federal immigration enforcement. In fact, despite the mayor's new executive order, Metro's legal department says even if they did know about the raids in advance, they likely would not have been able to alert the public.
If you try to impede or interfere with that activity, you may be charged with a federal crime.
Yeah. If you get in the way, you will be charged, okay? It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Again, if these people love the illegals so much, they can go with them, right? They can go be with their families in, their other countries, right? In their home countries. You can go back to your home country. You can catch a flight to your home country, right? And to be with your family member, if it really concerns you that much, right? But, hey, if they're here in the country illegally, they don't have the right to be here. And, it is what it is. Okay, I understand that it's sad that, some of these people got to go back home, but it is what it is. What I like here is the fact that we have state and the federal government working together. And I think that is going to help overcome some of these sanctuary city policies, right? Clearly, Nashville is trying to protect the illegals. The police can't really work with ICE in order to arrest illegals. So, hey, it's up to the state and it's up to the federal government to do it. And they still going to boo-hoo, whine, and cry either way, right? So we can let them cry about it. But, the laws have to be enforced. And once again, Democrats are showing us where their priorities are, right? I want you guys to understand how hard these people are working for illegals. I've never seen Democrats work this hard for the American people. Never seen it. Never seen it. I've only seen them work this hard for criminals and illegals. But I think that the funny part about this is that they're boohoo, whining, and crying about this being an intimidation tactic, right? They're trying to intimidate people. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Yes, you are right. This is a scare tactic. We do want illegals to self-deport. In fact, I believe President Trump was offered $1,000 and a free plane ticket for illegals who want to leave, right? So again, if you don't want to go this way, you can go in a much easier way, right? And you can get paid for it. If, you don't want to possibly be swept up in these raids, there are easier routes to leave the country. But regardless, you got to leave, right? It's basically a choice in regards to how you want to go, right? Do you want to self-deport, take a little bit of money on the way back to wherever you're from, or do you want to be rounded up, right? Because you can do it the easy way, you can do it the hard way. Either way, you got to go. And no amount of boohoo, whining, crying from the left, the Democrats, is going to save these illegals, okay? It's going to be a tough 4 years for the illegals, and hopefully longer, to be honest with you. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.